Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial video series on our channel. In this one we are going to be talking about Redis. We're going to create a small Redis project where we are going to utilize some of its features, specifically in this tutorial series for caching, and sometimes in the future we're going to make another tutorial series about how you can use Redis for some locks, so like a Redis distributed Redis locker and stuff like that. But for now we're going to be talking about caching. We are going to take a look at the different ways, like different operations that Redis has, how you can use them to cache stuff. Yeah, we are going to make a specific videos for those things. In this video, so in the first video, we are going to be looking at how you can configure it. As always, we start with setting up of our project, which we do on the Spring Initializer webpage. You can see what I have this. So if you're already following my videos, you know that I usually do this. So I'm setting my project to be a Gradle project. I have some group, some artifact name, whatever. This doesn't really matter, so you can enter whatever you have. The Java version, you need to basically choose the one that you have installed, and the dependencies. That's the important thing. We have Spring Web, not really important for Redis, but we are going to be using it to create some endpoints where we are going to be fetching some data and stuff like that that we have stored in Redis. So that's the reason why we need it. And the Spring Data Redis is the actual Redis dependency what you need. So here you can see some description, what it says about it, and yeah, all of that nice things. So once you are done with this, you entered everything, you just need to generate a project, which will download you the zip archive, which you need to extract somewhere and open it up in your IDE. In my case, I have it open in IntelliJ, and it looks like this. So it's really an empty project with a Redis application, so the main application class, and my build Gradle file looked like this. So these are the dependencies that I have, and that's it. Of course, at the beginning, you just need to reload your Gradle project. So just click here on the Gradle tab and you're ready to go. One more thing that you can do is go to File, Settings, and inside of Settings, you can search for Gradle. And once you have found Gradle, you can just change this to be built and run using IntelliJ. You can click Apply. Okay, this is not mandatory, but I really like it, so I'll just do it. Okay. That being said, Redis itself is a different story. So you need to start the Redis server first before you can actually interact with it. Luckily for us, starting it's quite simple. So there is a link which I will be providing in the description of this video, which you are going to use to download the Redis. It's again a zip archive which you just need to extract somewhere. I have downloaded it and extracted it, and this is basically it, what you get. So you can see that there are some files here, and we have this Redis server. So if we double click it to start it, you can see that our Redis server is already started. It's actually quite fast. You can see the version that we have here and on which port it's running. Also in this files, you can see that we have the Redis CLI. So if you open up that, this actually provides us a connection on this local host on this port where the Redis is running, and we can actually try to ping it. So if we ping it, we can get a response pong, which is means for us that our server, Redis server, is running and we are ready to go. We can, for example, also try something like set some value, and you can see that we get a response, and now we can try to fetch it from Redis. And we get it back. So everything seems to be running and we are ready to code. So let's go back to our IntelliJ. The first thing that we want to do is we want to create our configuration class. So let's create a new Java class and name it something like Redis configuration. The name doesn't really matter. And as always, we are going to annotate it with @configuration. This is just so that the Spring knows that this is our configuration class. Okay, now we need to create a few beans. One is the lattice connection factory, which is going to be used to set the parameters to our connection, so to set the host and the port. As far as I understand this, you actually don't need to do that. So like you can just leave it empty and it will use the default configuration, which we have. So you can of course change the configuration. If you're not running into localhost, you can change the configuration to your host and some ports that you have. So that's also in Redis. I will not be going into that. And then you would use this connection factory to actually adapt to that. Maybe you would have some kind of startup parameters in your application where you can provide the connection parameters and then connect to Redis. But we are just going to be using a basic, so a default configuration. So let's create this. So I will create a method and then I will explain what we are doing inside of it. And here you can see that I have created a bean, so a Lattice connection factory, and inside of it we have this Redis standalone configuration. And in the Redis standalone configuration we can set the host name and we can set the port. I actually had to check what the port was, so it's 6379, that's the default port which it's running, and yeah, that's about it. We can actually make this final. And now we can create the Lattice connection factory. Great. So we are creating the Lattice connection factory, the bean, and now we need our Redis template. So let's create another bean for the Redis template. And that's it. So we are creating another bean for our Redis template. Our key will be of type string, and we are going to be storing the value, which is just some object. Doesn't really matter what we store inside. It all depends on our application. And yeah, we create a new instance of the Redis template. We set the connection factory to this one here, and we return it. And that's all of the configuration that you actually need. So it's not really that complicated. I mean, for basic setup, it's quite easy. If you have more things, then of course it will be a bit more complicated, but not a lot. So let's, for the beginning, let's just try it out. Let's see if it works. Let's create a new package for our service. And let's create a new, let's call it just Redis service. Actually, let's call it Redis list cache. And we can annotate it with service annotation. Inside of the Redis list cache, we are going to be using our Redis template. And we are going to be using something called Redis list operation. Let's create a constructor. And our list operations are this. Perfect. So what we are doing here, we have our Redis template and we have our list operation. I will be explaining in the next video what exactly list operations are. For now, I just want to show you that it works. Let's create quickly one method that will be run on the post construct, just so that we can see that we can store something in Redis and actually read from it. Okay, so I have created a post construct method, so this will be annotated once our application is started. This will be executed once our application is started, and I am adding something to our Redis cache under the key with the name key. So this is basically whatever you put here, and this is our value that we are putting, and then I'm using the write pop to read from it. I will be explaining this in details. This is just a configuration video, so I just want to explain you how to configure, how to check if everything works. So let's just start our application, and if everything is working okay, we should be able to see this message being printed in our console output. So let's see it, and hello there, it's running. So everything seems to be fine, and we have configured it successfully. Our Redis server is running and it's ready for us to cache some stuff. But that will be happening in the next video. So for this one, the configuration is done, and we are ready to move on. So I will be seeing you in the next video. If you like this content, if you like these kind of videos, so the topics that I'm addressing, please do subscribe on my channel. It would really help a lot, and like the videos if you like them. If there is something that's bothering you, something that you do not like, please mention it in the comments and I will try to address it. So until the next video.